Cooper was born at 35 weeks, so he was premature. And typically at that age, the kids do fine. When he came out initially, he did great. He was breathing on his own, but by about 5 minutes, he started requiring quite a bit of oxygen.
Everything seemed normal until we had to leave the room. Whenever the nurse really started rushing, that's whenever I kind of got a hint that everything wasn't normal. They never let on to how serious it was.
So he was taken to the newborn intermediate care nursery. He was monitored and given oxygen, but at about 15 minutes of life, he started to have significant difficulty breathing, required more oxygen, and a blood gas was drawn, which showed that he was having difficulty with his breathing status, and the decision was made to intubate him.
I didn't stay in there to see him do all that because I don't think I could have.
We got to go see him. I think he was about maybe 2.5 hours. And that's when I realized what was going on.
Respiratory distress is very common in premature babies. It's also known as hyaline membrane disease. They cannot move oxygen through their lungs, so we have to assist them in one way or another. We can start with basically just giving them some blow-by oxygen. If that doesn't help, we can put them on Vapotherm, which is a high-pressured nasal cannula. And if that doesn't work, our last option is to intubate and go ahead and put them on a ventilator.
He also had another issue at that time because his lungs were so difficult to ventilate that he had what's called pulmonary hypertension. And because of that, they shunt regular blood that's deoxygenated with no oxygen over to the oxygenated blood, and they also have more difficulty with their oxygen for their body. After intubation, he did well. He needed to be intubated for about 2 days. He got surfactant, which is the medicine to help with the immature lungs, and by about 2 days of life he was able to be extubated, and by about 4 days of life was able to be off oxygen.
We lived not very far from there, and so we would go and kind of take like an hour to ourselves, and then we would go back to the hospital and we would feed and kind of hang out with him for a little bit, and then it was just a vicious cycle that just went all day long. It was really hard to leave, like with his car seat in the car and him not in it, but it was comforting to know that he was being taken care of very well, and so if something happened, they would call us and let us know.
Because of our specialty in our ICU, we're able to intubate the kids and give them their surfactant, and they are able to stay here at Shannon and get the care they need here.
With what CMN provides, Cooper was able to stay in San Angelo, make it easier for us to see him because traveling and being away from everybody is not an easy thing, so we had that family support here.
Children's Miracle Network helps with our neonatal resuscitation program. They help with all the equipment we have, with the ability to ventilate, the ability to take care of these small preemies. Our nurses are trained also in resuscitation of the babies.
All of the equipment pretty much that he used was made possible by Children's Miracle Network.
I was involved in Children's Miracle Network because I worked at SAMS for almost 6 years. So I got to see and meet some of the kids and know kind of where some of the money went to.
She came in here as part of her SAMS group for just a routine tour. She said she was doing about a month, and then 2 days later I come in and find out that she's delivered and had a premature baby and is now on the equipment we were just talking about.
Oh, he's doing fantastic. He's almost 2 years old now. I reviewed all of his stuff, and he has normal development. He's a thriving, almost 2-year-old boy. He should have no complications at all from this.
Why do I think he's a miracle? Because he's my son.
He's so happy and so healthy and so beautiful. That is the reward for any NICU nurse.
Please support the Children's Miracle Network.
And support a miracle like Cooper.